everybody, Sean from Movie Salt here, and it is time for another monthly pickups video, this time for March of 2023. I have an embarrassingly large amount of movies this month. I may have gone slightly overboard with my purchases. A lot of this stuff I picked up for good prices, but there's just a lot of it. Thankfully, though, there's not much here that are blind buys. I've seen most of these movies, so it's not like they're movies that are going to sit on my shelf and never get watched. I'm adding most of these to my collection because I like them or want to rewatch them at some point. So I'll start with the Amazon stuff. I have Amazon, Shout Factory, eBay, Buy Sell Trade, and Walmart. It's always a bad sign when I go to Buy Sell Trade because I always buy a lot of stuff there, even though I don't have as much from there as I do from Amazon this month. But anyway, I'll start with this one. This is Scream, the 3-movie collection, has the first 3 Scream films. I've seen all of these, I just haven't seen them since they originally came out. And I want to rewatch them because I haven't seen the last 3 Scream movies, and I kind of want to get caught up. I remember vague details about each of them. I remember not liking the second and third one anywhere near as much as I liked the first one, but I kind of want to reintroduce myself to the characters and the whole lore and whatnot. And this was a great price on Amazon for at least a little while. I think I got this for less than $8, so very nice to have this in the collection. This is a film that I watched once back when it came out. I believe I rented it from Hollywood Video. This is American Movie, which is a really sort of, from what I remember, it being sort of very quirky, very interesting, very offbeat tale of this guy who is an aspiring filmmaker and his friend who is a musician. One of these two guys recently passed away, and I can't remember. I think it was the musician, but their names are Mike Shank and what is the other guy's name? Mark Borchardt, I believe is how you pronounce that. That's him. But I believe it was Mike Shank that passed away. But I had made a comment when he passed away that I wish I had this in my collection to rewatch it because I'm way overdue for a rewatch, and I decided to pick it up this month. Also picked this one up. This is sort of a, I don't want to say forgotten classic, but it's kind of an overlooked film in the Sylvester Stallone filmography. Also stars the great Rutger Hauer and Billy D. Williams and Lindsay Wagner, Persis Kambata, Nighthawks. I remember watching this many a time on HBO and enjoying the hell out of it, and I wanted to add it to my collection, so picked it up from Amazon. Picked this up. This is a blind buy. I have not watched this yet. This is Devotion. I am a big aviation buff, especially World War II. This takes place during the Korean War, so there's a lot of aerial stuff that I'm interested in. Also features Jonathan Majors and Glenn Powell. It says it's based on true events. I have not heard too much about this, but I was just interested to see it, and I did not make it to the theater to see it, so wanted to watch it at home. This is probably the purchase that I will regret the most from this month. I did pick this up, but it was because it was on sale for a cheap price. I picked up Black Adam. Still haven't seen it. This is a blind buy, but I figured I'd pick up the 4K while it was on sale and at least get it at a cheap price. It was $16, so they probably wanted to unload stock on it, but I'll eventually get around to watching that. And this one I mentioned last month that I said I probably wouldn't be buying it, but here it is, Escape from LA, the 4K edition, because I picked up the 4K of Escape from New York. I have seen this. I saw it in the theater. I've only seen it once, but I figured I would get it just to complete my Snake Plissken collection and give this a rewatch, which I have not done yet, but I will soon. Speaking of forgotten or overlooked movies, this just recently came out on Shout Factory, and this is from 1990. This is Crazy People, starring Dudley Moore and Daryl Hannah. This actually played at my theater that I was a projectionist at back in 1990, and I saw it a number of times as a result of that, but had trouble tracking it down on home video, and I could find it on DVD, but it wasn't available on Blu-ray. Well, it just came out on Blu-ray, so I snapped it up. This is a very funny film, at least as I remember it. That doesn't mean much if you haven't seen a movie for 33 years, but I'll give it another shot. But I remember liking this very much. Saw this in the theater. Megan, had a great time with this. Picked this up because I wanted to add it to the collection. I do also want to watch the unrated version, which I have not done yet, but this was a lot of fun, and really enjoyed the creativity behind this. It was a little silly, but still very very scary in a realistic way, because especially with the advances that AI has been making over the past few weeks, who knows when we'll have our real version of Megan. And then this one, I have received an overwhelmingly positive response to the review I did for this. This is the 4K edition of Dragon Slayer Steelbook that I picked up from Amazon. I do have a review posted of this. If you haven't seen it, for some reason it's blown up on my channel, and I really appreciate that. But I talk about this in great detail in that video. And then this one is one I did not buy. This was actually a gift to me that came from Amazon. I was gifted an Amazon gift card at work, and so I used it to pick this up. This is the complete 6-movie collection of the Star Trek films on 4K. I had the 4-movie version that I bought off of eBay, and I said I would probably eventually get this. But if I could get this without spending any of my own money, all the better, so I can trade in the 4-movie set and keep these. I love these movies, especially 2, 4, and 6, like everybody else. And yeah, looking forward to watching this, or these, again in 4K. Okay, that's it for the Amazon stuff, and the next batch I got from Scream Factory, or Shout Factory. And first pick is Phantom of the Opera, the motion picture, with Robert Englund. This is another film that played at my theater when I was the assistant manager of the theater, and I had never sat down and watched this, but I would sit down and watch bits and pieces of it. Thought it was interesting, and it kind of has disappeared from, I don't really hear anybody talking about it. Maybe that's because it stinks. I don't know. If you've seen it, let me know. But from what I saw of it, it was really interesting. And I think Robert Englund would make a great Phantom of the Opera. So I will find out when I watch this. This is a blind buy. Also a blind buy. And one of those movies that I'm not 100% sure why I picked this up, because I don't know much about it. Meet Cleaver Massacre, starring a reluctant, from what I understand, Christopher Lee, who didn't know he was going to be in this movie when he shot his part. At least that's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. But Shout Factory or Scream Factory was saying some of their out-of-print titles were back in print, and this was one of them, and I picked it up mainly for Christopher Lee. I don't know that much about this, but I will give this a shot. It says it's an occult film so terrifying it will never be shown on TV. And then this is one of the few DVDs that I picked up, and this is actually a TV show, not a complete TV series, but probably the most complete that we'll ever get, is The Best of Fridays from Shout Factory. This is a 5 DVD set of the short-lived Saturday Night Live type show that ABC ran in the early 80s, I believe from 80 to 82. Yeah, 80 to 82. This is 16 full episodes, I believe. It includes all sorts of musical guests, which is the reason I picked it up, because it's got musical appearances by The Cars, The Clash, Kiss, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, among others. Dire Straits, Pat Benatar, which is really the reason I picked it up, just because of the musical guests were fantastic on this show. The comedy was most of the time, But there were a few bits on here that I remember. But if you're a Seinfeld fan, Kramer, oh, what is his real name? Michael Richards and Larry David, who was a writer on Seinfeld, both came out of this show. So this is the best of Fridays. Then next up is eBay. I picked this up. This is the special effects collection. This was kind of hard to find at a good price. I see it selling for ridiculous prices on eBay. I picked it up for 35 bucks, but I've seen it selling for as high as 120 something, which just boggles my mind. I don't know if it's out of print or just really highly desired or what, but it's got Son of Kong, Mighty Joe Young, The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, and Them, all 1950s, or not all 1950s, because Son of Kong is from 33, I believe, and Mighty Joe Young is from 49. Them and The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms are from the 50s. But anyway, these are movies that I used to watch all the time when I was a kid, loved all four of them, and I'm exceptionally happy to have these on Blu-ray. And then I showed this on my Bride of the Monster review that I posted a week or two ago. This is the Ed Wood box that features 5 movies from Ed Wood. I'll show it the correct way. And a documentary called The Haunted World of Edward D. Wood Jr. This includes Plan 9 from Outer Space, of course, Jailbait, Night of the Ghouls, Glenn or Glenda, and Bride of the Monster. I did not have any of these other than Plan 9 from Outer Space in my collection, and I adore these, as crappy as they are. But I haven't seen, now I have not seen Jailbait, Night of the Ghouls, or Glenn or Glenda. I've obviously seen Plan 9 from Outer Space many times and just watched Bride of the Monster, so looking forward to watching the other ones. But so far, I find these films just hilariously adorable. All right, Buy, Sell, Trade is next, and I picked up this Bruce Willis double feature. This is The Last Boy Scout and Last Man Standing. I have not seen Last Man Standing. Last Boy Scout I did see in the theater. Looking forward to seeing Last Man Standing. I believe that was not very well received at the box office, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it does feature Christopher Walken in it, and that's pretty much all I know about it. But glad to have this. Picked up a Criterion for 15 bucks, The Hidden Fortress. I've seen this, but it's been a long time. I remember watching this back in, I think, 2000 or 2001, and just being blown away by all of the references that were picked up from this, from Star Wars or in Star Wars. Obvious lifting of influence from this. But I also thought this was a fantastic movie, and I'm really glad to have it in my collection. Akira Kurosawa and The Hidden Fortress. Also picked this one up. This is Silver Bullet. This was also 15 bucks. I didn't pay full price for any of these because I had traded some stuff in, and I had a gift card from my last trip there, so I don't know what I actually ended up paying for any of these, but this was just traded in like 2 weeks ago. And glad to have this. This is in great shape with the reversible cover art. Silver Bullet. And then I picked up some movies in their clearance section. I'll show these. These are 4... I may be missing one. I think it's 3 or 4 for $10. Oh, the other one was the Last Man Standing, Last Boy Scout, but it's 4 for $10. But I picked up The Artist, which won Best Picture. I've heard really good things about this. It sort of has gotten forgotten. Has been forgotten over the past few years. I don't hear anybody talking about this movie at all. That is a blind buy. This is not a blind buy. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Last Stand, his supposed comeback movie. I think, when did this come out? In 2012. I was going to say 2011, but I did own this at one time. Wanted to get it back in the collection. And then this is a blind buy. This is the original Straw Dogs with Dustin Hoffman and who else is in this? Susan George. This is the unrated version, directed by Sam Peckinpah. And then last from Buy Sell Trade, I picked this one up. This is a 4-movie marathon on DVD. I picked this up for the Funhouse, but it also includes Phantasm 2, The Serpent and the Rainbow, and I remember watching, that's fun to say, on TV a long, long time ago. And from what I remember, it has Dirk Benedict in it. Yeah, Dirk Benedict and Strother Martin. Serpent and the Rainbow, Wes Craven film. I've seen that many, many times. Phantasm 2, I've seen a few times. But the Funhouse, I have not seen, and that's really why I picked this up. Maybe I did see it back in the 80s, but it was so long ago that I don't remember anything about it. And I'm thinking about including that in this year's Halloween 15. So there you go. And then last, I had a trip to Walmart, or I took a trip to Walmart. I was looking for some of the $5 steelbooks that people have been finding. I did find 2. I found the recent incarnation of Hellboy with David Harbour, and it comes with this really nice plastic sleeve, which is plastic slipcover, which is nice to keep it from getting scratched up. Very weird. The back is upside down. That's a little strange, but okay. But yeah. Hellboy. And then I picked up another steelbook. Hellboy is a blind buy. This is a blind buy as well. I picked up Kin, which is available on Tubi. But I figured the steelbook is kind of nice looking. For $5, I'll pick it up. No biggie. So I have that. And my pile is about to fall over. There we go. And then I picked up 2 other things. This was $3. This is The Call with Tobin Bell, Lin Shaye, and Chester Rushing. It looked interesting. I've since heard bad things about it, but for $3, what the hell? I'll pick it up and take a look at it. Horror film. And then last, but definitely not least, is something that I found in the cheap bin, and I'm like, wow, this is going to be an excellent deal. And then it rang up at $25, and I said, you know what? I don't have these all in one collection. I do have the Alien Anthology that includes the first 4 films, Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection, but it does not include Prometheus and Alien Covenant, which I do have separately, but I can save some space and have them all in one set. So I'm going to trade the other sets in and just keep this one. So there you go. That's everything I picked up in March of 2023. Thanks for sitting through this with me if you've made it this far, as always. And appreciate all the support I've been getting recently. Thank you for all the new subscribers. If you're new, thank you and welcome. As always, thanks for watching. Take it easy.